That's my jam right there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast, a Good Health by Claudia podcast with me, Denny Schaffer, a production of Denny Radio, as I am live from our southern studios. It's January. It's cold up there where you are, Claudia. I had to come down here to thaw out. Anyway, it's episode number 93. I just want to say up front, thank you to all those that shared episode 92. That was a great episode, getting good feedback on that because, you know, it's starting off the new year. Where do you start? If you didn't see it, go back, watch it. Very helpful stuff. Anyway, Claudia, good to see you as always.
You too, Denny. Good to see you. You're soaking up that sun while we're dealing with the snowflakes, but, you know, it's rather pretty out. It's beautiful.
If you're going to have winter, I like the snow. Okay. It's when the snow is gone and it's just brown and gross and cold. And if you're going to have winter, have snow, or you could have white sand, which I kind of like down here.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But listen, I am blessed and I'm very thankful to God that we're able to do this. And through technology, you and I can still do the podcast, which is awesome because it's important work. It's very informative. And today, episode 93, we're going to talk about energy and cellular energy, which I understand energy, but we can all use more of that, especially after what we just went through with the holidays. A lot of people are getting back into the routine and all that. So energy levels could be a little low. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
And we have a guest.
Yes, we have a wonderful guest. You going to introduce her? Or you introduce her?
I can do that. It's Maria Maroney from Natural Factors. Maria, welcome to the Good Health by Claudia podcast. They're from your library, it looks like.
Well, thanks for having me today. And I'm on the East Coast in the Mid-Atlantic, and I like 4 seasons. I'm going to just kind of walk the line there.
I like the 4 seasons.
I do too.
The only month I'm not a fan of is January. Nothing personal of people that have birthdays in January. Once you get to February, it's like, ooh, you can see the end is near. It's a shorter month. So my wife set this deal up and said, can you do your show and stuff from down here? And I'm like, yeah, as long as they have good internet. So here we are. Helping people, and hopefully people will share this as well. Maria, how long have you been with Natural Factors?
You know, that's an interesting question. I've been with them almost 2 years this time, but I was with Natural Factors, actually the very first brand I represented as a sales rep back in, early 2000s. So always been near and dear to my heart. They're a great brand. So, yeah.
So what made you come back?
We're so happy to have you here today. Thank you.
Yeah. What made you come back, Maria?
You know, everybody has a long journey and a different kind of journey, right? I actually, I guess about 8 or 9 years ago, went back to school to get a master's in clinical nutrition and decided that I wanted to kind of learn how to research for myself instead of just being in the sales aspect of things. I'd always done education. But I sort of put my money where my mouth was and went back to school and decided that that this would be a good path to take. And so, the stars aligned, and here I am back at Natural Factors all these years later, a brand that I love. So,
yeah. Great. Then you go back to the boss and say, hey, I have a master's now, so I would like a little extra. Because I have a master's now. Anyway. All right, we're going to be talking about energy, cellular energy. Claudia, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, and I respect that you went back to become a clinical nutritionist because that's what it's all about, right? It's all about the chemistry.
Exactly.
It's all about the chemistry and how these products interact with the human body at a biochemical level. So I love that you learned all that. And I've learned it over the years. You learned it in a setting. I've learned it picking all these researchers' brains and, all those things. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about cellular health, and great topic because I think a lot of people, they feel better when their cells have something to work with. So let's start. Where do you want to start?
Why don't we talk about why mitochondria are so important?
There you go.
Yeah. So why do we care about them? What are they for anyway? So in order for your body to literally do anything, like blink your eyes, brush your teeth, go for a walk on the beach, you need to be able to accomplish something called cellular respiration. So what is that? That's the process in which you're something like 37 trillion cells in your body create energy out of the oxygen that you breathe and the foods that you eat, mostly glucose or carbohydrates, right?
Yes.
And so all of that happens inside the mitochondria of your cell. And here's I guess the really important part, the takeaway from that, because I could have been like, blah, 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 right there, right? But here's the part. Cellular respiration creates more than 90% of the energy needed to sustain life and support your organs.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And most people have really no idea what creates energy in the body. So they don't understand why are they so tired, right?
Yep. Yeah. And of course, it goes directly back to what they're eating and how they're fueling, or the lack of fuel for the body.
It really does. And, you know, and so you've got people out there that are reaching for that cup of coffee every afternoon at 2 o'clock, right? A mitochondrial support product is for anybody who's complaining that they're tired or that they don't have enough energy, or they're too reliant on that afternoon coffee.
Yes.
You know, people getting over from being sick, right? So here's what happens when we contract a virus. This perfect time of year to talk about it, right? The bugs hijack the mitochondria so they can replicate themselves.
Yes.
So when we get sick, not only our immune systems take a beating, but so do our mitochondria. So giving them some support while you're sick or while you're trying to recuperate is really important with recovery. And so athletes
Claudia,
too.
I have a question, Claudia. It's been 93 episodes, and I'm finally hearing about this because I'm the guy who goes to the coffee in the afternoon because my coffee that I had 5 hours earlier is starting to wear off. Again, it's all natural coffee, though. So why am I just hearing about this product now?
Well, because there's so much to teach everybody. There's so much, you know, there's a lot to talk about, and that's the beauty of what we're doing. I mean, there's so many parts of what makes good health versus dis-ease in the body. So aren't you glad you're hearing about it now at the beginning of the year, and we're starting it right?
The only thing I don't like is when we start talking about products, of how I will take a product and put it over on Denny's pile so Denny can start taking it. Now that we're not in the same studio, that's going to be harder to do. So you're going to put it in a bag for me and leave it at the front when I get back.
Right, I'll do that. So
what products are we talking about, Maria?
So let's show a product that we're talking about.
Sure. Let's
so which one? Denny's, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me about this.
Yeah, so this is our Natural Factors Regeneralife Mitochondrial Energy Support product. So I think that most people don't know what to do with this product. They kind of put it on the shelf. They're not even sure where to put it on the shelf in the stores. And then folks in the aisle don't really know how to talk about it either, because it's got a bunch of different ingredients in it. So in a nutshell, what's in the formula is not just a sprinkling of ingredients, because I think sometimes formulas tend to have, you know, just enough to be able to say that it's in the label. Right. So Natural Factors is, I have to say about Natural Factors, they are such a reputable company, and they always put, no matter what is in the ingredients, even if, you know, the FDA will say, if it has less than this amount, you don't even have to put it on the label. We put it on the label, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. Very transparent company. Anyway, so what does it have in it? It's got, at a glance, it's CoQ10. But not just a sprinkling. It's got 300 milligrams of CoQ10.
Oh, wow.
It's got acetyl-L-carnitine. It's got 1,500 milligrams of acetyl-L-carnitine. It's got an ingredient called SOD, or superoxide dismutase, which, when was the last time you heard about a product with superoxide dismutase in it? Mm-hmm. And then glutathione.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Well, you will in a minute.
Okay,
yes.
I'll stay with it. I'll stick around for the whole podcast.
You will in a minute.
Yeah, and then glutathione, which is our master antioxidant. And then we've got a very unique ingredient called Elevate TP, which we can talk about each of these if you'd like. We can kind of go into what each of them do, and then you'll understand why they're so important in this formula.
All right. So is that a powder that you mix with water or juice or something?
It is. It's a powder. It also comes in capsules, but the capsules are more, oh, what's the word? More like, oh gosh, I can't think of the word, but you take it supplementally, like, once you've like, if you're not feeling well, you want the powder, right?
Yeah.
If you're
like
sort of
powder.
trying, yeah, if you're working on something, you want the powder, but it does, just know it comes in a capsule. It's just not as strong. And the reason it's not as strong is because you can only fit so much in a capsule, right?
Right.
So this is a powder. It's got a very nice melon flavor. And it is, let's see. I think that there is actually, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 1 month supply, but it's also sweetened with stevia. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, love stevia. So when do you take this? In the morning, on an empty stomach, midday when you're sluggish? When do you take it, Maria?
So a couple of answers to that. I definitely would not take it in the evening because it can be energizing. Right. But here's the thing. Mitochondria have a lifespan of very similar to red blood cells. So around 100 days. So some people will feel a benefit immediately. Maybe those folks who are very sensitive to caffeine, I find that those kinds of folks will respond very quickly to the formula.
That's me.
But some of us think about 100 days is 3 months. So for your mitochondria to get the benefit, as new mitochondria being healthier, mitochondria are being formed, it could take a few weeks to a month for you to feel the true benefits of this. So I personally take it in the middle of the afternoon. That's when I would normally reach for a cup of coffee. So that's my go-to time. But it's really any time that works for you that you're gonna actually. The answer is anytime you're going to take it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So did you say empty stomach or full stomach?
No, it doesn't matter. Take it when you're, like I said, when you'll take it. I take it with lunch. I make a big salad and that's my beverage with my lunch.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So Denny, a lot of the ingredients in that product we've taught, other than superoxide dismutase, we've talked about all those products, CoQ10, glutathione. We've talked about those over different podcasts when we've talked about cellular health. So they've put them all in one formula, which is terrific. So, and
again, not a sprinkling, right? Not a sprinkling, but
right.
But
the higher levels. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I look forward to trying that when I get back home to the home studios, Claudia. Wink, wink, if what I mean.
I'll have a bottle of it set aside for you with your name on it.
I love it.
But here's the thing with this product. A lot of people are dealing with cardiac imbalances. They're dealing with, just a lot of vascular stuff. They're dealing with stuff. And this product, because we have a lot of people on CoQ10 and these other ingredients by themselves. So this product would be very beneficial for everybody, really, I think. But what about contraindications with any meds?
So I don't know that I have any contraindications. I will say that, for example, what just jumped in my head was CoQ10 and how CoQ10 can, statin drugs can actually deplete CoQ10 in the body.
Yes.
Also, some antidepressants can deplete CoQ10 levels in the body.
Yes.
So I kind of went in the opposite direction there, but I can't think off the top of my head any contraindications for, CoQ10 or acetyl-L-carnitine.
Yeah, neither can I.
Yeah. Nothing's coming to mind.
Yep. But
okay.
I just wanted to put that out there because people always ask. Yeah. They're always going to ask. So no, it looks like a wonderful product.
If you're on prescription meds for whatever, blood pressure or whatever, you always want to talk to your doc about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you talk to them, educate them. That's why this podcast is so important. All right. I'm going to pop up another product. What is this one?
All right, so NMN Surge. NMN is a very hot new topic. Actually,
it is.
I think a lot of people are hearing a lot about NAD, right?
Yeah.
So before we can talk about NMN, we probably should talk about NAD. And again, this is all biochemistry.
It's biochemistry, so we're just trying to simplify it as much as possible.
Right. So NAD is another molecule in the body inside the cell that's vital for energy metabolism. And it's important for maintaining mitochondrial health. And we need to make sure that we have plenty of it. But like so many other things in our bodies, our natural levels of NAD decline as we age, and our mitochondria need a little bit more help creating energy. And that's why everybody's talking about NAD, right? But here's the thing. Oral NAD isn't able to get into the cells efficiently.
Right.
So taking NAD as a supplement is not the answer to more energy. So that's where NMN comes in. NMN is actually, well, what is it? It's actually, it's a metabolite of the B vitamin niacin.
Yes.
So what's a metabolite? A metabolite means your body breaks down that B vitamin and metabolites are created. And so when the body breaks down vitamin B3, one of those metabolites that's created is NMN.
Right.
And NMN is a direct precursor to NAD. But NAD can't get into the cells. NMN can easily get into the cells. So once it gets inside the cells, it can create plenty of NAD. The cell can then create plenty of NAD. So that's why NMN is so important, because it's the raw materials to make the NAD.
Right. And we have a lot of people coming in for NMN. It's kind of hard to say that, but we have a lot of bodybuilders coming in. We have some elderly people, they're hearing about it, whatever. Yep. So a lot of people, the feedback is they're experiencing more energy. And I don't know anyone that doesn't want better energy.
Very true. And actually I'm trying to remember exactly what the research said. Oh, I remember now. It said that 300 milligrams per day of NMN can double NAD levels in just 2 months.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. And our NAD comes in 300 milligrams and 500 milligrams.
So so since it's a derivative of niacin, mm-hmm. but it does not cause a flush.
That's a great question. It does not cause a flush. No, that's the right answer. But somebody else asked me that question not too long ago. Could I take the NMN instead of the niacin? And I don't know the answer to that. I will say that, but it's a really good question. And I think it bears a little bit more research.
Well, niacin, as we know, I mean, it's funny, years ago when we'd put people on niacin and their doctor, they'd get the flush. And then docs would say, oh, you're allergic to it. Don't ever take it again. And of course, niacin, the way it works is to help release toxins out of the blood. It dilates the capillaries, which is why it literally causes a flush.
Right.
People feel warmer. Denny, you're raising your finger. Tell me.
What is a flush? 93 episodes, and this is the first time I heard a flush other than the other kind of flush when we were talking about fiber. What is flush?
So niacin is a beautiful B vitamin. And, in most multis, they put it buffered, niacinamide. And the reason they do that is because niacin, in its simplistic state, the flush is from it's dilating. Correct, Maria? It's dilating the capillaries, and it's allowing toxins to come out of the blood. That's how they release. So when people are doing niacin, a lot of people are doing it for high LDLs, whatever, brain function, whatever they're doing it, allergies. For years we used niacin as a way to deal with histamines, getting them out of the blood. So it by releasing them, it dilates everything, and you'd literally turn red. You get flushed, and you get hot, and you get itchy. And that's why doctors always would tell people, because they didn't understand it years ago, you're reacting adversely to it. Well, they weren't. This is how it functions. This is how it releases histamines out of the blood. So that's why I asked that question.
NMN does not cause that flush. That's for sure.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
So, Denny, does that make sense to you?
No, it makes total sense. Now, this is extra strength NMN with NAD.
This is the extra strength. So, Maria, when would you use the extra strength for someone?
That's a great question. Like I said, the studies say 300 milligrams. It really depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to maintain good health and make sure that your NAD levels stay where they need to be? Sure, 300 milligrams is great. If you're really wanting to attack it, maybe 500 milligrams is better for you. It's really a personal decision, I think, there.
And of course, I always tell people with anything, start low, work up. Start
Fair.
simple and then work up. So the 300 milligram would be a good place for people to start. Now, the NMN Surge and the powder they can be taken together.
Sure. I take them together. I take my NMN Surge in the morning and I do the beverage at lunchtime.
There you go. Very good.
But I do want to point something out. The bottle says NMN Surge and it says NAD plus boost. So that's what it's doing. It's actually, if you turn the bottle around and you look at the back of the bottle, you're going to see NMN, 300 milligrams. No, there's no sign of any NAD. And I think in this category, because, the FDA just finally approved it a few months ago to be able to be sold as a supplement.
Really? I was not aware of that.
Yeah, in the summer, it was supposed to be the summer when they were reviewing it. They were basically saying, nope, this is a drug. And we're not going to allow you to sell it in health food stores. And we finally got the final, so we were allowed to sell it while they were looking at the product. And in October, they gave the okay that it could be sold in health food stores. It is a supplement. Very good. So I think a lot of products that are on the shelf right now will say NAD, but when you turn the bottles around, you'll see things like, NR or, they say different things on. So really read the labels or better off just try ours. But I just want to point that out because I think it's important.
Yeah. Very good.
All right. I have one more product and I probably should have put this up with the other one because this one kind of goes with the powder, right? That we first showed you.
This is the capsules. And so you probably need about 4 capsules in order to almost equal some of the ingredients in the RegenerLife powder. I wouldn't, if it were, well, it is me and I am not taking the capsules. I'm taking the powder. Now, if you absolutely don't like stevia, although I think personally I'm somebody who's not the hugest fan of stevia, and I think this has a really pleasant flavor. I would urge you to test it out with your customers, do a little demo and let them try it because it's very tasty, but it's great. The capsules are great when I'm traveling. I can't, I'm not always bringing everything with me. Or if I want to go on maintenance, that's the word I was looking for before, kind of a maintenance dose. I can do two capsules a day. Maybe I'm feeling better. I've been on it for a few months. I'm feeling better. And I just want to keep things status quo. But you can also do half a scoop of the beverage too, and for that matter. So, lots of ways to, fit it into your lifestyle, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But it's a wonderful product. All the ingredients in it are very, very important for the human body. So thank you. Thank you for going over all that. Anything else?
Yeah. What else do we need to talk about?
What did I want to talk to you about? Well, we talked a little bit. You mentioned the SOD and you didn't know what it was. Should we mention what SOD actually is?
SOD.
Well, you can, and Denny, when Maria and I were talking yesterday, I asked her, we have a company in our industry that, anyway, it used to be a family-owned company. It isn't anymore, but they, 30 some years ago, they were making a product and it said right on it, SOD. That's the only reason I learned about sodium superoxide dismutase, years ago. But but the issue with it is, is it stable enough to get into the cell?
Exactly.
Exactly. So the product you guys have made, you've stabilized it so it can get in there. So tell us about SOD. Right.
So SOD. So cellular respiration creates a byproduct in the body, right? In the form of a free radical. I think everybody knows what free radicals are, right? Yep. Well, the free radical in particular that cellular respiration creates in our 37 trillion cells every second of every day is superoxide. That's the kind of free radical it creates. And that's normal. And the body has, makes its own glutathione and makes its own superoxide dismutase and can usually handle most of that. What the body can't handle is poor diet, sleep, stress, like environmental toxins, all like the things that living in a modern world attacks the body with, right? So antioxidants is a theme throughout all the ingredients in this product.
Yes.
So superoxide is the exhaust, like a car, right?
Right.
Is the exhaust that's created. Superoxide dismutase is the enzyme that breaks it down.
Breaks
right?
it down.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. So why doesn't anybody make superoxide dismutase anymore? Well, because in order to provide those antioxidant benefits, it has to survive an acidic pH environment, high temperatures and body fluids, which are all things that happen in the gastrointestinal pathway. So that it's an enzyme, right? Or a protein. So it gets broken down just like all the other proteins we eat, and you don't get the benefit.
Yes.
So the SOD in Regeneralife comes from this very cool patented ingredient called Extramel. It's got a unique process that coats and protects that SOD through the digestive tract, so it can be absorbed in the intestines and then be effective.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, you might start to see SOD in more products now because they've found a way to protect it and
to protect it.
Yeah,
very good. And I just want to clarify for everybody listening, we talk about free radicals all the time, but the majority, I mean, so Maria, you're talking about how the body with cellular function naturally produces free radicals.
Right.
But when in a lot of the conversations that we have on other podcasts, we're talking about the free radicals that have been created by all the junk everybody's eating and all the pharmaceuticals they're taking and all the environmental toxins. So they're adding that burden to the system.
Exactly. That's a perfect word.
Yeah. So that's why the antioxidants that we talk about, the antioxidants that protect the heart or the liver or the eyes or whatever it is, that's why antioxidants are so important to take. So we can help the body deal with all this other major burden that's being put on it. So I just wanted to say.
And you bring up a good point. You mentioned the heart and the liver and also the brain, right?
Yes.
Those cells I just learned recently, those are the cells that we're stuck with for life. The eyes as well. Those don't turn over. Cells in our stomach, throughout our gastrointestinal tract, our skin turns over all the time, but we really need to protect the cells of those major organs.
Yes. Interesting.
Awesome stuff, Maria Maroney.
Very cool.
Natural Factors, all the products we talked about available at Health Foods by Claudia on Secor Road. Stop in, get educated. Claudia, go ahead. I see your mouth was agape. I'm like, she's waiting for me to take a breath so she can jump in. Go, Claudia.
But Maria, I want to just mention, because when we had you guys on the podcast a couple years ago talking about the multis, we were talking about the regenerative farming that this company uses. So before we end, I'd like you to just speak for a couple minutes about that, because it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So 30 plus years ago, Natural Factors purchased property up in British Columbia, Canada, and decided at that time, now 30 plus years ago, decided at that time to build a farm and farm it regeneratively. So this is long before regenerative farming became a buzzword.
Right.
And that's how this farm has been farmed ever since. And so all of the plants, the mostly vegetables, there are a few fruits and some herbs, but mostly vegetables that are grown on the farm are all utilized in our whole earth and sea line of products. We create something we call our Farm Fresh Factors blend, and that is basically whole food that goes into all of those products. So our multi is a raw multi.
Well, there's the men's. I just grabbed a couple off the shelf, but there's a lot of whole food in there, and it's from the company doing their own farming, correct?
Exactly. And the thing is, we're a family-owned company. We're privately owned. The company will always remain in the family. Roland Gaylor is our owner, and he has made a promise to the industry. He's very passionate about the independent retailers, and he's made a promise to the industry that the company will never be sold to multinational corporation. His family members in place. This is always going to be all about the independent retailer. And so the thing about Roland is he makes his own decisions. We don't have a board of directors. We don't have shareholders to satisfy. So, right around the same time, they decided to create a seed bank so that we would be able to plant all our own seeds. And that seed bank has grown to the point where we are currently protecting almost 200 different endangered species of seeds.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry, extinct species of seeds. We're protecting endangered species as well. And we trade with seed banks all over the world. So to me, I think supporting a company that cares about the industry is really important. And I'm very proud to be a part of Natural Factors.
Well, and that's why we're proud to carry them, because there's too many companies that are turning their backs on the independents, but they're figuring out it's the independents doing the bulk of the education in the United States. Yeah. So if you don't support the independents, basically they're not supporting their own education. That's why the companies we have on are all of this quality and integrity of understanding. We're a collective group and we're a team. And I really honor this company and the visionary of the company.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you. Denny, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I just in total agreement. I'm all about the mom and pop family owned companies, because we all know what drives the big boys. It's all about friggin' greed. They don't really give a rip about how we feel. They just want our wallets emptied on their products. And that's not what it's all about. This is about getting people healthy, changing lives, and quality of life. And that's why I love this podcast, because it's so important. And that's why it's important for you guys to share this podcast every time we do one. So Maria, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah, it was a delight to be with you both today.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to you coming back on.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Many blessings to you, honey. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. It was a delight to be on. It's the first time we've heard that well, she's guest number one. So, and you didn't say it last week. It was a delight to be on with me. So I'll give you a break on that. But Maria,
it's always a delight to be on with you.
Yeah, I do miss it.
It was very good. And she's got a heart of gold and she knows her stuff. So
and man, those are good products. And I look forward to this one right here when I get back. Set this one aside.
We're going to put aside for you.
All right, I'm ready for that. All right, Claudia, we are out of time. And again, share the podcast. It's very, very important. Get the word out about the education that's happening on Tuesdays at noon with Good Health by Claudia. And like always, I'm giving you the last word, Claudia.
Yeah, thank you. I guess the last word, I always say the same thing, but every time I think I'm going to quit saying it, somebody will walk in the store and say, thanks for reminding me to keep the faith. And so, I think people just need to be reminded, there's a lot of goodness in the world. There's a lot of goodness in this country, a lot of wonderful people. I believe that the goodness outweighs everything else. And, part of that goodness, life is just more fun when you feel good going through it. So part of that goodness is embrace your health. You'll be glad you did. Take it in baby steps, one thing at a time, explore the products. We have a lot of great people coming on the show and a lot of knowledge, a lot of education. So we're very, very grateful to be sharing all this with all of you. So thank you for tuning in. And thanks for when you guys see Denny and I giving us a hug. And anyway, we're very grateful and many blessings to everybody out there. Keep the faith, everybody. Peace.